Welcome to Smokin with Swami. I'm Swami Chaitanya. This is
Nikki Listretto, and we're in New Delhi, India today. And very happy to be here with Jatin, who actually comes from Mumbai, via living in California for many years.
yeah.
I believe.
And he decided he wanted to change his life, and so he studied to become a chef. And so we connected with him because he saw our YouTubes and so on. And what we started to talk about is organic food growing. Right? And so you've been very concerned about creating a source of organic food for restaurants in Bombay. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it all came about from my experience as a chef working in Melbourne. And as a chef, we had a very good relationship with our farmers locally. So we would go out to the farms and we would do site visits and understand how they are going about growing their crops and the love and passion that they put into it. And so they sometimes, if they wanted to, they would tweak the vegetables to grow for us. Where like recently, there's been a big thing about baby vegetables.
Baby vegetables.
Right?
Like baby spinach,
baby carrots, baby zucchinis, and things like that.
Baby corn,
and all that. So so then the farmers started, they started shortening the duration of the growing period. So they were smaller vegetables. So we can just put the carrot on the plate with the green tops on, and without just washing them up a little bit. So it started from there, and a passion for cooking and a passion for growing came from there. And I pretty much put my chef's apron away momentarily. I'm not working as a chef, and now that I'm in Mumbai, I'm growing microgreens and also working with local farmers.
Did you say a vertical garden?
And a vertical garden, yes.
So what does that mean exactly? It's on the side of a wall?
No, so basically we've got a shelf system,
I see.
and we use hydroponic. We use all hydroponic media, but we use artificial lights. So we're able to grow the product faster.
So it's a stack of shelves.
So it's a stack of shelves. Yeah, it's a stack of shelves. Each shelf has let's say 5 trays of microgreens on it. Those 5 trays can pretty much sustain a restaurant for a week.
Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
But now you're going up to the mountains to look for farmers there? Or?
Yeah, we're always going around India, talking to farmers in Pune, as well as Talegaon and Alibag near Maharashtra area, as well in Punjab and Chandigarh and Jalandhar, and try to talk to them and see how what they're doing with vegetables and organic vegetables. And we actually recently met a farmer who was also GAP certified. So now we're going to start getting those vegetables to Mumbai, where there's a lot of people that sell organic, but they're not certified, and so you don't really know whether what they're selling is actually organic, and you see the price on it. So a kilo of tomato is maybe 30% more costlier if it's organic, and people are paying for that.
Right.
So we're very honest in what we do, and we are also in the process of getting certified. We tell the person that we're not, but we use all organic. So a lot of the chefs, we invite them out to the farm and have them come and look at our processes and our systems and what we're doing, and so that there's honesty in we're not labor and
So you're talking also about refrigerated trucks to bring produce 48 hours to get
so the problem in India is, as you know, is just logistics is a big problem. Logistics, as well as in India, is how they handle the product. They're very rough with it, they just throw it in the back of the truck.
Right.
So it causes bruising of the vegetables that the farmers have worked so hard in growing. So logistics is a bit of an issue that we're starting to get sorted out. The farmer that we met recently in Punjab, he's GAP certified. He's doing his lettuces. He's also looking at helping out his local community, bringing them up and he's got his own refrigerated trucks. And he sorted out the system with GPS tracking and everything, so you can also monitor the trucks, and the guys are not taking crap.
Now they have super highways that are connecting.
Yeah, so it makes things a lot easier to get stuff from a place like Punjab all the way out to Maharashtra and get those organic vegetables out to the chefs in
So Jatin, I'm curious, when we were living in India for many years, back in the 90s especially, there were very, very few people. Organic didn't exist. It just didn't exist.
People didn't know about it.
And so how did the consciousness get there all of a sudden? How did that happen? People like you bringing it here?
I think people like me bringing it here, but also there's a lot of people that are traveling overseas as well, and they are aware of travel, and also there's people being aware of what they're putting into their bodies, and people making a choice that, I do have a choice too. grow my own, or find a person that is doing organic and is connecting with that individual to see if I can get a basket sent to the house every week. So there's people like that in Delhi as well that just.
Oh, I see. Delivery of separate of the whole food.
Yeah.
We have that in
That's what we call CSA.
CSA. Was it Customer Supported Agriculture?
Oh,
Something.
yeah.
So, but now we're also talking about this living soil movement that you
Right.
started to learn about also, and we're learning about with Elaine Ingham and Jeffrey Levinson and so on.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting to think about
It's
the
very
soil is alive in a way, right?
It is. It is very exciting because we know the same thing as what you're putting into your body. You know, how is a vegetable grown? Has it been put any fertilizer, pesticides? How has it been grown? What are you putting into your body? Same thing, putting the same respect to cannabis
Right.
and organic soils.
Right.
And so just learning about it. There's so many new movements that I have been reading up on, like Bokashi and Korean natural farming
Right.
and living soil.
Right.
Things like that. So,
With mycorrhizal,
with
around roots
mycorrhizal.
and all that sort of stuff. All this is it's a consciousness change also with many of the growers in California as well, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to make sure that it's not only the best product, but it's also regenerating the land in the process of growing.
Of course, yeah.
So now you did mention cannabis. Is there some sort of medical cannabis awareness that's happening in India? Because we know India is one of the sources of where cannabis originally came from.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been, it's been hidden and hidden. And so
Yeah, it's behind the curtain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, like besides, people do it openly. The cops won't pull you over if you're smoking a
There's a
spliff.
festival where
There's a
everybody
festival
gets
in
high.
Holy, everybody gets high, from
Right.
grandmothers to aunties and
I
uncles.
can eat the edibles at that point. This is the whole thing with the Endless Festival where everybody in the whole town will have these edibles that they make with ghee or clarified butter.
Yeah, well, they make with milk, with palm and
Yeah.
milk and almonds and nuts.
Rose water.
Rose water,
Yeah.
you mix it up.
No, we make it also. It's really palm is really great. You have to be careful. It can be very
Very potent, yeah.
But when the whole village is now drinking of this sacred drink of cannabis preparation, everyone gets a whole party atmosphere and everybody throws color on everybody.
Yeah.
It's a great festival, right?
It's very peaceful and it's no dramas, not like with the
No, it's not violent.
that you have with alcohol.
Right.
So it's a very safe
But
drink.
then now there's more of the medical usage that we're talking about
Of course.
too, and so you need pure cannabis for that, where you'll be making salves and ointments, which is obviously happening in the United States, but now that's going to start happening in India as well.
It is. I mean, like in small corners of the community in India is there. We are talking to each other. We understand that there are patients in India that do require the cannabis as a medicine.
Right.
And so there are people in Bangalore that are doing it at home. And there's an individual in Bangalore that did it for his neighbor. He's made a tincture for a person that was suffering from cancer. He has made a tincture, and he's giving it to the person. And they're going through that journey together.
Interesting.
So there's also pockets like that, and there's
It's such an ancient medicine.
It is.
Comes from here.
Yeah.
It comes from up in the north, in the mountains.
Well, up here mostly what is used isn't the flower, it's mostly what's called charas, or we usually call it in the West hashish,
Yeah.
right? And that's what they make that in the villages up in the
Well,
mountains.
the reason is sensimilla does not grow in India. They just don't, they include the seeds, because the seeds have such good protein that people in the mountains, when we used to live there, would eat the seeds constantly. It's the
They
protein.
make
So, and then they would make the
Yes.
jars.
Correct. People would make a paste out of it, out of the seeds, and also use that.
Or they just mix the seeds with salt too.
Yeah.
Put that on as a garnish on it.
Yeah, people.
But, Jatin, I have another question. I've read that Monsanto
Yes.
is really big in India, and people have been committing suicide in Rajasthan because they have to use Monsanto seeds, which means they have to buy their seeds every year, and how can they afford that? So how does this affect the organic vegetable or anything? They're not going to require you to use Monsanto seeds.
Yeah, no, I think people are aware, and people have woken up to the beast that Monsanto is, and also the Indian government is going in and helping farmers. Not only the Indian farmers are getting a bit more help from the government than before, not only in regards to seeds, but also because of droughts and things like that, and how to sustain themselves, because if they have a bad crop, then they get wiped out.
Right. And now I realize reading in the paper that there's a very high suicide rate amongst farmers for that very reason.
It
It's
is.
1 or 2 seasons and you can't survive.
Correct, yeah.
And so they can't support their family, so they just give up.
Yeah.
And you should see some of the farms, you see just tiny little plots, right? And they're scratching out and so on. But then also we've been through the Deccan, near Bangalore and so on, and just miles and miles and miles of coconut growth.
Right, yeah.
And it's the world's major production for coconut.
Coconut fiber, yeah.
But then down on the coast, it's all about rice and so on. So yeah, the agriculture in India is very widespread and it's very varied and so on. So,
just like people in languages, you know, in the South, there's so many different various languages and all of that. You know, and also the food is very diverse.
Yeah, exactly.
The food is very diverse.
Tamil Nadu food is different, Gujarati food is different, Andhra food and so on. Yeah.
Correct.
Unfortunately, they have hamburgers now too.
Yeah, but Sikkim up north, up in the northeast, Sikkim, their government, if you're only allowed to grow organic there.
Oh, really?
Vegetables are all organic.
Kidding.
You cannot use pesticides and all of that stuff. So the northeast is one place that the northeast is, you know, what we're like kind of following their example and believing by their example. And it's everything is organic there.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, it's up in the very northeast corner.
Assam, Sikkim,
right,
all of that.
Yeah. And it's in the foothills of the Himalayas.
Yes,
So
right.
it's very, it's
Yeah.
gonna be very
That is
clean.
brilliant.
That's really great.
That's great to hear.
It's funny you brought up Monsanto because I mean we've also been hearing some news about Monsanto and some seed companies hooking up. Like I think it was Monsanto and Greenhouse Seed Company or something hooking up, and they're trying to make a seed and then patent that seed and,
Right.
and trying to genetically modify the cannabis seed. They're trying to patent it. So I don't know if it's a rumor or maybe you
No,
guys have
it's
some.
Of course they're going to try and do that, right? And one of the things also they've been doing before is they modify the seeds to make them Roundup proof, right? So they play this horrible pesticide on it, but then these plants survive the pesticide, right? But then it blows over into the next field and contaminates the next field.
Right.
But then if they find that some of your seeds got crossed with that because of the wind, they'll sue you. Because you've now got Monsanto genetics in your seed that just happened by the wind blowing it over.
Right.
Like that. So it's pretty crazy.
No, I think they do have big plans to get
They
into
do.
the cannabis business.
Yeah.
So, but we've also been told by various people that, say, in the cities like in Chennai and Mumbai, that one guy was saying, Ash was saying, everybody smokes, everybody, rickshaw all the time, but they're smoking this really crap weed, right? But it's still cannabis, right?
It is. I mean, it's basically, it's not just me. I would say how it would be the brick weed they used to get in the 90s, like
From Mexico.
Mexico, they would get in the big paper bags.
Right.
You know, the brick
After
weed,
seeds,
after the seeds and stems. Yeah, so a lot of
a
times,
really dark color and all kind of leaf now.
Yeah.
Flower. Right? We didn't even know there were flowers.
yeah,
Been making for years. Cannabis was just this stuff. Flowers? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But now we know that that's the essence, the most beautiful part of the cannabis, where all the flavor, where all the potency is. In the
Right.
flower, right?
yeah.
So,
Well, I really hope that organic cannabis does come to India as well. You know, you certainly deserve it being home. And, you know, I really hope that people do get to experience at some point that, you know, top quality.
and seed exchange too, where some of the land races from India will come out eventually get to the States, and some of the high strains that have high CBD strains
Right.
are coming to India.
Because, you know, what I've heard is that India has many, many high CBD strains. And then they brought this to the state, you know, years ago, 30 years ago, when hippies came over here, brought some seeds back to America or wherever and started growing them. But then they said, oh, I'm not getting very high. And breeders over time managed to breed out that CBD just to get the high THC, thereby losing the wonders of CBD and all these other compounds.
But we got it back.
But now we're getting it
We're
back.
getting the CBD
Getting
back.
it back.
That's right. And now we find out from testing and so on that the CBD, and now we have strains that we actually have a strain. What is it? Queen.
8 to 1.
But what's it called?
Queen of Hope.
Queen of Hope.
Queen of Hope.
And that's it's actually 28 to 1, which means it has about 20% of CBD and maybe like 0.7%, 6% of THC. It always needs a little bit of that THC
It's a little
to activate the
CBD.
right, because they always work together.
Right.
And of course, it's more than just the CBD THC, because we know there's like 30 or 40 other cannabinoids plus the terpenes. And
So we're still finding out about it.
Science is going to be helping us and taking over, and we have to really work together with scientists to develop these new strains and also integrate them with the landrace strains.
I understand. Something about recessive traits you have to kind of put back into the plant. Is that
Well, I'm not really a breeder and so on. And in fact, we don't really sell sell seeds or anything like that. So just so you know. But the fact is that what they call F1, F2, F3, or you have the mother and the father, and then you take down and you cross it, and you cross back to the father. I don't know about all these details, but you know what we call that to stabilize the strain. But in normal horticulture, they call that breeding true.
Breeding true.
So say you have a certain tomato that you just really love, and it's a beautiful tomato, you get the seeds from it. Is it going to be the same in the next generation?
Right.
And 2 or 3 generations down. And if it is the same, then you say that's breeding true.
Okay.
Right? And now in cannabis, we say you want to stabilize the strain because there's so many amateur seed makers over the last 20, 40, 50 years in California that are crossing these things without my science. And now the science is coming in and rigorous control and discipline about crossing things and keeping track of all the details. And now we're creating new strains which are actually higher potency and also higher CBD and so on.
That's very interesting. That's really interesting.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's all fascinating.
Well, I hope you come back to California sometime and visit.
I will. I plan to.
I'd love to show you around the Emerald Triangle.
That would be great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that would be
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Great.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.